Hey fellas, this is Robbie speaking, and today we are going to be reviewing Bojack Horseman. As you can see by this photo, the thumbnail, the title. This is a show that I thought I was never ever going to watch, because when I first saw the preview, I thought like, oh, it's just another Family Guy or Simpsons or South Park, and this is Netflix's way of trying to compete with those other networks. But no, I was wrong. After reading the comments on why I should watch this show, without looking into spoilers, I knew I had to watch this series. And 6 seasons later of binge watching this incredible series, I said to myself, this might be the best adult cartoon I have ever watched. And I used to say that about Futurama, because Futurama, if you ever watched it, it was different from all the other adult cartoons at the time, despite being made by the man who created Simpsons, clearly. So I just enjoyed Futurama, not just because like, oh, it was funny at times, but also for its world building and its emotional moments. And it's like Bojack Horseman watched Futurama and said, hold my beer. Not just because like it's just different from some of the other adult cartoons, but also because it's more similar to shows like Sopranos. I know that's a weird comparison, but when you think about shows like Sopranos, you analyze Tony Soprano, and then you have other shows like, say, Better Call Saul, which is probably one of my favorite shows that just reached its 10th anniversary, which is crazy. Like, you analyze those characters too. Like, we have fun analyzing these characters as to why they are doing these things. But then Bojack Horseman, like, we never thought we would analyze a cartoon character like this until you watch the series as a whole. You say to yourself, like, wow, I understand this character. He's doing these things because of these moments in his life. The show of Bojack Horseman takes place in Hollywood, or as they call it, Hollywood. And so the main character, he was once on a popular family sitcom called Horsin Around, and so people recognize him as that character that he was on that TV show whenever he walks down the street. Despite having that type of recognition and watching reruns constantly, Bojack has been struggling to boost his career from that show. He's trying to find the next big thing that will make him a bigger name than just the horse from Horsin Around. And so it starts with him writing a memoir of his life. And so that's what starts off the chain of events throughout the entirety of the series. Not just for him, but also these 4 other main characters. They join him on the ride, as they also have character arcs of their own. Bojack Horseman may not have had the best animation, and that's okay. A lot of other cartoons are like that. Sometimes it's just more about the characters. Sometimes it's just about the story. Sometimes it's just about the comedy, especially comedy with cartoons these days. Or maybe it's just about the drama. With Bojack, it's about all of those things. It knows how to balance the comedy and the drama. I mean, it could have the funniest of moments, but then it just knows how to flip a switch. Like, it's dramatic now. You know when to take this seriously. Now, I already mentioned that Bojack was the star of Horsin Around, but what was he like off camera when he was just interacting with his friends, when he was at his home? Like, who is Bojack Horseman? Is he a good dude, or is he a bad dude? Or is he in between? Well, Bojack Horseman questions that all the time, because he has done some really shady things to where he has not only hurt himself, but the people around him. Like, he has cut ties, he has ruined other people's careers. Like, he can be a real asshole. But we also see where he comes from. And it all starts with his childhood, where he suffered abuse at the hands of his parents. Like, you sympathize with him as a child, but as an adult, Bojack, like, there's no excuses for the things Bojack has done. But Bojack tries to change. He tries to change for himself. Like he's trying so hard, but no matter what he does, he keeps making poor choices. The reason why we like to follow this character is not because we root for him, but because we want to see him change. We want to see him make better decisions. can he really change? Can he really turn his life around for the better? Or is he always going to be the same depressing alcoholic? It does make the story unpredictable because you want to see this to the very end. And the ending's great, guys. Trust me, you will love the ending. When Bojack is working on his book, he gets help from Diane, his ghostwriter, and that's the beginning of their friendship. And so some people say like their friendship is the heart of this series. And I mean, in some ways, I think that might be the case. You see, if it wasn't for Diane, the show would be totally different. Bojack's life would be different. His career, everything. So, could you imagine if Diane wasn't in this series at all? Like, how everything would be so different? Like, Diane is pretty much the key to this plot going forward. You see, Diane is also depressed with her life, except Diane has more to be happy about. Despite all this success and her finding love and everything, she cries, she has meltdowns, she's just an emotionally unstable character. You know, like other people would kill for her life, like they would love to be in her shoes, but she's just so sad she might have like chronic depression or something. And so that's what she struggles with throughout the entirety of this series. You then have Bojack's rival, Mr. Peanut Butter, who also tries to be Bojack's friend. You see, Mr. Peanut Butter was on another family sitcom, which had the similar premise as Horsin Around, and Bojack says like, oh, that was a ripoff of Horsin Around. But Mr. Peanut Butter tries so hard to be Bojack's friend. I just love it in the first episode where they meet up and Mr. Peanut Butter's like, oh, is this a crossover episode? And, you know, Bojack's like, eh. They just have that SpongeBob Squidward relationship where Mr. Peanut Butter lacks common sense. And it's really funny though too. He really brightens up your day in like every episode that he's in. I mean, he has had a couple serious moments here and there, but he's not the most depressing of characters because he's just so full of life. You then have Todd, who is voiced by Aaron Paul, and of course Aaron Paul played Jesse on Breaking Bad. So people make those comparisons of Todd and Jesse. Here's the difference though. Jesse was more street smart and was emotionally damaged, whereas Todd is more optimistic and ambitious. Despite how many times he fails at what weird ambitions he has, like what weird shenanigans he goes through, Todd crashed on Bojack's couch during a party and he hasn't left since. So he's just been this bystander that doesn't pay rent. But we love having Todd around, and secretly so does Bojack, but he won't admit to that. And last but not least, we have my favorite character, Princess Carolyn, Bojack's agent. And she does a really good job at it, where she knows how to make connections and everything in the world of Hollywood. But Princess Carolyn is a workaholic, and she also struggles to find the right guy and have kids with that guy. You see, in the first season, Princess Carolyn approaches the age of 40, and this is when she starts to doubt herself that she may never have a family, but it also kind of motivates her to find that guy soon and to have those kids. Princess Carolyn is also kind of like a coach, where she just knows how to motivate others, just like she tries to motivate herself. Like, we all need a Princess Carolyn in our lives. The show of Bojack Horseman may be episodic, but when something happens, whether it's small or big, it affects the rest of the story, and it just shows you how much relevance each episode has to the plot. It's not like some of the other cartoons where something big happens, but then the next episode, it's like it never happened. I mean, but that's pretty much almost every single cartoon. Bojack knows how to keep that continuity. Now, there are a couple episodes of this series that I did not care for too much, like the chicken episode. I felt like this episode wasn't very important. I mean, I know I talked about how each episode is relevant, but I feel like if you got rid of this one, it wouldn't really change a whole lot. What did you like about this series, and how do you rate it? I mean, I think it's pretty much a 10 out of 10 for being my favorite adult cartoon, but I mean, I know I've talked about how I would like to talk about Sopranos and Better Call Saul, but I feel like that would be a totally different transition. I thought maybe this series, being both animated and a character study, would be a better fit for the channel at the moment, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making sense or not, guys, so just let me know if you want me to talk about those series in the comments down below. I'll also stick to anime, though. Don't worry about it. This is still an anime channel, but it's always nice to think outside the box once in a while. If you are new to this channel, please make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and don't forget that my book is in the link in the description down below, Cheetah Team. Just make sure you get yourselves a copy down below. And that's all I have to say, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm Rob A, and may the anime force be with you.